Get ready for baseball action because the red-hot Chicago White Sox are showing serious contender vibes. We dive into the incredible game where Tristan Peters hit his first career home run, a 3-run shot that changed everything in the City Series, setting the stage for a wild afternoon of baseball. Massive home run numbers. Finally, we hear the explosive reaction from ex-Cubs voice, Len Kasper, as Edgar Quero blasted a game-winning shot, and we look at what this means for the White Sox's future as they chase those big dreams. Don't miss the rest of this epic story. The Chicago White Sox are surging past the Chicago Cubs, fueled by a seemingly magical season, according to the Chicago Tribune. The rivalry between the two teams, a 29-year-old crosstown battle, reached a fever pitch during Sunday's City Series rubber game at Wright Field. The contest featured significant moments, including Tristan Peters' 3-run home run in the 8th, Michael Conforto's 3-run home run in the 9th, and Edgar Quero's 2-run shot, ultimately resulting in a wild 9-8 victory for the White Sox. Eric Fed, a starter for the Sox, expressed the palpable atmosphere, noting that winning a series against the Cubs is meaningful to the city. Following 3 consecutive seasons with over 100 losses, the White Sox are seen as genuine contenders in the American League Central, moving beyond the perception of a rebuild. Shortstop Colson Montgomery affirmed that the current success feels authentic, stating, "Once you start winning and stuff, it's like, all right, this is real, it's not fake." The Cubs, meanwhile, dropped their 3rd straight series after a 23 stretch, remaining in first place in the National League Central and facing the Milwaukee Brewers. Cubs center fielder Pete "Crow" Armstrong acknowledged the energy of the matchup, noting that the Sox came out swinging and created momentum. He expressed appreciation for playing against a young team, emphasizing the positive impact of both teams' success on the city. Reflecting on the history, the article contrasts the current atmosphere with the legendary Fall of '77, a period when both teams were dominant. The 1977 Cubs enjoyed a high point with a 16-15, 13-inning win over the Cincinnati Reds, capturing the public imagination. The White Sox of that era were fondly remembered as the South Side Hitmen. Adding a layer of intrigue to the current success is the appearance of a magic wand. Reliever Mike Vasil waved the wand at slugger Munetaka Murakami before Murakami hit his first 2 home runs, leading to speculation about omens or coincidence. Vasil stated he would keep the wand all season, viewing the magical season as special and taking pride in being a good teammate. Manager Will Venable echoed this sentiment, emphasizing the importance of maintaining that spirit, even during losses. The current White Sox roster is characterized by role players making significant contributions, with key hitters like Murakami, Montgomery, and Vargas on track to reach 30-plus home runs, marking the 4th time in franchise history for 3 players to achieve this milestone. However, the team faces a critical need for the return of catcher Kyle Teal, who is recovering from a hamstring strain, as the catching situation is thin. The article concludes by noting that the current atmosphere, while perhaps once deemed crazy, seems to be a tangible reality. The Chicago White Sox secured a dramatic victory over the Cubs in Game 3 of the City Series, winning a hard-fought contest with a score of 9-8 in 10 innings. The game took place at Wright Field on May 17, 2025. The intensity of the matchup was evident throughout the extended contest, culminating in the White Sox triumphing by a narrow margin. The Chicago Cubs fell in the City Series against the Chicago White Sox, as the defense allowed the White Sox to score 6 runs with 2 outs in the game-tying 9th inning. The pivotal moment came when designated hitter Michael Conforto hit a 3-run home run, a significant moment for the veteran in his first City Series appearance against the intra-city rivalry. Conforto described the moment as significant, feeling the pressure to deliver in that crucial spot. The blast forced extra innings, and while the Cubs took the lead in the 10th inning, the White Sox ultimately won with a 2-run home run by Edgar Quero in the bottom of the frame. Cubs manager Craig Counsell acknowledged that despite the loss, it was a good baseball game. The afternoon featured several key moments. After the White Sox scored 10 runs earlier, right-hander Colin Rea kept the lineup in check until the 5th inning when Miguel Vargas hit a 102.8 mph line drive that the Cubs center fielder missed, dropping for a double that tied the game. The play was assessed as having a sub-10% catch probability. The White Sox ultimately drove in 6 of their runs with 2 outs, and the Cubs failed to secure the final out. Earlier in the game, Tristan Peters hit his first career home run in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pitching performance also drew attention. Right-hander Phil Maton, who entered with 1 out in the 8th, surrendered the winning run after walking Andrew Benintendi and allowing a single to Quero before Peters' home run. Maton's ERA spiked to 9.49 across 12 and 3/4 innings in 14 games, prompting manager Counsell to emphasize the need for confidence and execution from the pitcher. Conforto's performance was also highlighted, with his second hit of the game and third time reaching base being a 414-foot home run against closer Seranthony Dominguez in the 9th inning. While this was not the defining moment he hoped for, it showcased his value to the bench. Counsell noted the team's reliance on Conforto, stating, "We've got a really good option here in Michael Conforto. That's part of this story, too. You feel pretty fortunate to have him." Following the loss, the Cubs have made roster adjustments, selecting Ty Blatch's contract, optioning Javier Assad to AAA Iowa, and moving Hunter Harvey to the 60-day IL. The team will face the Milwaukee Brewers in the opening game of their 3-game series on Monday. In a dramatic moment during the Crosstown Classic Series, former Chicago Cubs play-by-play announcer Len Kasper reacted intensely to a key play by the Chicago White Sox, showcasing a lingering aspiration for championship glory. Kasper, who left the Cubs for a radio role with the White Sox in 2020, was reportedly motivated by a desire to call a World Series, a goal that seemed distant as the White Sox struggled, particularly during their 2024 campaign, which saw them break the MLB's all-time single-season loss record with 121 losses. The White Sox entered the series with a lineup bolstered by players like Luis Robert, Tim Anderson, and Eloy Jimenez, though the team faced rebuilding challenges. Last season, they showed improvement under new manager Will Venable, but were still expected to navigate another rebuilding phase. The team has since inked Japanese slugger Munetaka Murakami, entering the current weekend series with a record of 22-21, holding second place in the AL Central and possession of an AL wildcard spot. The rubber match on Sunday delivered high drama. After the game extended into extra innings, the Cubs scored a go-ahead run in the top of the 10th inning. With Kasper calling the game, catcher Edgar Quero stepped to the plate with 1 out and a runner on third base. Quero then launched a first-pitch fastball over the center field wall. Kasper's reaction was explosive. He exclaimed, "It's back there, it is gone. Edgar Quero wins it, shut up." This outburst suggested a renewed fervor, perhaps fueled by those long-held World Series ambitions. While the White Sox have significant work ahead before becoming legitimate pennant contenders, the presence of figures like Kasper, who shares the South Side connection, keeps dreams of championship contention alive for the team.